Hi everyone, in this video we're going to look at a concept of a reference angle. So we have been actually talking about reference angles. I just never say they were reference angles, right? So what is a reference angle to begin with? A reference angle is an angle that is between the x line and the terminal line, or the radius, the hypotenuse. So for instance, in your Cartesian plane, right? This is the x, this is the y. Also, as we've been talking, the cos diagram. Let's say that there is a line there, right? Which should be the hypotenuse if we were going to complete the triangle. So the reference angle is an angle between the x line and this line that stems from the center, which is the radius, the hypotenuse, the terminal line, whatever you want to call it. So that's the reference angle. And with the reference angle, it's always less than 90 degrees. We know that 0 degree starts here and then it's 90 degrees. It's 180 degrees. It's 270 degrees, right? But the reference angle does not necessarily have to be in this quadrant. No, it can be in this quadrant, in this quadrant, in this quadrant as well. So for instance, let us go ahead and draw these lines in a different situation as well. Let me redraw that. So for instance, let's say that the line was there, right? This is still the x-axis. The reference angle will then be there now. So as you can see, it's between the x and this line that stems from the center, your radius, hypotenuse, whatever you want to call it. So always the reference angle is the line, is the angle between the x line and the line that stems from the center, your radius. So for now, I'm just going to keep on referring to it as a radius, right? So even if perhaps this line was here, just highlighting it to make things much more clearer. That angle over there, reference, it's the reference angle. Even if it were here, reference angle, right? So it doesn't matter at which quadrant it is, as long as it's between the x line and the radius, right? Keep on remembering that. That is the concept of what we would classify as a reference angle. And where will they be used? Why are they going to be useful? So we just want to use a reference angle to make life easy. So let's say that we have sine 330 degrees, right? What is a reference angle here? Firstly, as we've been discussing with the cos diagram, we want to see where is 330 degrees. It's between, okay, this angle over here, it's going to be 360 again. So it's between 270 and 360. So it's in this quadrant where we drew already. So the reference angle will be here. And we know that if we're in this quadrant, which is the C quadrant, the cos quadrant, its form it's 360 minus particular angle, right? So you're going to write this sine as 360 degrees minus 30 degrees. Why 30? Because 360 minus 30 is indeed going to give you 330 degrees, right? And so the reference angle will be this. So ref angle is 30 degrees in this particular situation. Let me just draw a line to make things neater. And we can see that it is less than 90 degrees. So it's always going to be less than 90 degrees. The reference angle, you must know, it's always less than 90 degrees and is between the x line and the radius line. And so maybe another example just to close off. Let's say that we have 10 540 degrees. So we know that with big angles, I always recommend with big angles, you always subtract 360 degrees. Bigger angle meaning that it's bigger than 360 degrees, right? So, yeah, we're going to have 10 540 degrees minus 360 degrees. What is that going to be? Forgot my calculator in another room, but let me quickly type it on my phone. It's going to be 10 180 degrees, right? So, okay, maybe let's not use 180 degrees because 180 degree, it's over here. It's neither here or here, right? But then, yes, even in this case, so the reference angle, what would the reference angle be here? It would be 0 degrees, right? Because look, in this quadrant, it's 180 degrees minus particular angle, 180 degree plus particular angle. And we can see that 180 is in the middle. So you can either even if you use this form or this form, it's go this reference angle over here. It's going to be 0. So the reference angle here would be 0. Right? So yes, I know that this is kind of intuitive. It's something that we've already dealt with. It's just that now I am formally introducing it as a reference angle. But it's important to know that, okay, there is what we call a reference angle. And it's less than 90 degrees. We're going to use this idea when we're going to solve for angles given the trigonometric ratios and when we want to find the general solution. Thank you.